for the past 2 years, he's really been my leader. And just being able to see that and know how it's done and getting older, knowing that that's how I want to do it and that's how I want to be, it's a great feeling, and it's something great to have. So I couldn't ask for anything better.
How has he embraced that leadership role? I mean, there are a lot of young inside backers this season.
I'd say he's definitely embraced it. He's definitely taking us under his wing. Every opportunity he gets, he's giving us nuggets of information, watching film with us, doing things like that. Teaching us different moves that the vets know and that you learn over time. And I feel like being able to get that as a young linebacker and as a young player, getting it from someone who's been through the process, who's played special teams as a young player, who's played linebacker as a young player, and now as he's older, being able to get all the things that he's learned as a young player is really important, and it's been really helpful. So.
How has the defensive line improved in your eyes, and how are they making life easier for you guys as linebackers this year?
They've been playing lights out. Just keeping us clean, demanding the double team. It's made it way easier to see run throughs and get through. And when the interior D line and the edge guys are doing their job, setting edges, demanding double teams, it makes it way easier to play linebacker and to make plays that, we get all the recognition for it, but they're really the ones that are making those plays. So they've been playing lights out, and that's a tribute to them and the hard work they've been putting in.
Isaiah, was there, being a guy that was so heavily recruited by Don Brown, was there any hesitation for you at all when he left, and what has it been like for you, the difference playing with Mike Macdonald?
No, there wasn't really any hesitation personally. As you're told in the recruiting process, you pick the school, not the coaches. So at any school, any coach can go at any time. And as soon as we found out Coach Mack was coming in, I was just as excited as anyone else. And it's been great so far with Coach Mack and the new coaching staff. I've learned so much just about football that I didn't know before. And I feel like, if I talk to myself from last year compared to myself to now, just my football knowledge as a whole has gone up tremendously, and that's a tribute to Coach Mack and the new coaches. So, no, there wasn't really any hesitation or anything like that. Just I came here for the university, so I was, ready to play for whoever's here.
Usually, was there a conversation among the players this week about, not looking too far ahead, like next week and a couple weeks later, and staying focused on Northwestern?
Yeah, so, we try to take things one game at a time. Coach Hilo always says we got to look at our opponents as nameless and faceless opponents. So we're not looking past any team. Each week we're going in with a 1-0 mindset. We want to be 1-0 for that week, and as long as we continue to do that, we'll reach all of our goals. So there was never any looking past our opponent this week onto the other games. We know we have to take care of business this week, take care of business next week, and continue doing that. We'll be set.
Brandon?
When you talked about the increase in football knowledge, can you specify what that is? Is it just more than just play stuff? Is it just your understanding of the game?
Yeah. So for me, it's just my understanding of the game and my understanding of defense. Coming out of high school, I focused a lot more on offense coming out of high school. So linebacker was something, somewhat new to me. So just learning a lot more coverages and different ways to play the position and different ways to do different things. We play a lot more coverages, and the defense is, I'd say, a lot more. I know a lot more about what everyone else is doing and what's going on and why things are working than I did last year. Last year, I'd say, for me, it was a lot of just memorization. Whereas this year, I understand what's going on with the defense as a whole. So I'd say that's the biggest thing, is just understanding why we're doing something and what we're doing and putting that all together.
Why do you think that is? Are they teaching that specifically?
Yeah, they teach that. They teach that a lot. When we're installing new coverages or blitzes or packages or anything like that, we're given the why and what's going on and why we're playing this technique instead of that technique, or how else it could be played if we wanted to. So it just makes it easier to adjust certain things because we understand the meaning behind the call. So if there's anything that needs to be adjusted mid-game or during the week, we can adjust it easily because we understand why we were doing something in the first place.
And I mean, they've been taking information from you guys, I guess, and applying it too.
Yeah.
I mean, like stuff that is that part of the whole thing? I
Yeah.
mean, or are they, you know, part of the reason why they're telling you why is because you're able to go to them also to say what you're seeing?
Yeah, when we feel like stuff might not be working or we want to change something as well, that's the other thing is we go to them or they ask us and our feedback is heard and taken into consideration. So that's another big thing is that there's that communication level between the players and the coaches, and we're able to adjust and do things how we want to as well. So that's a huge thing for us as well.
Angelique? I was just wondering, with this trophy, the first one honoring an African American player, is this more meaningful in my view?
Yeah, it definitely is more meaningful. Football is dominated mainly by African Americans. So having, that representation outside of just the players, but in trophy games and referees, as we've been seeing more lately, it's definitely meaningful, and it puts more at stake for this upcoming game. It's definitely more meaningful, and I definitely appreciate the fact that Mr. Druitt's being recognized. So.
Brandon, wanted to ask about that communication you were talking about. Does that take place more practice field, film study, meeting room? Like when are you guys having that back and forth more
The back and forth definitely happens in the meeting rooms. We take what they give us and apply it to the practice field, and then when we review the film and we see something that might not be working, or if there's any miscommunication between the players and the coaches, we discuss about that and figure out ways we can fix it. If there's any confusion or anything like that, the coaches make it really clear, and it makes it a lot easier to play faster when everything's really clear and makes sense. So we take what they give us. When we install it, we practice it, then we look at the practice, review it, and see how we can make changes.
Anything else for Kalel?
Does that create a level of ownership, I guess, and more investment among the players?
It definitely does. It definitely does. We feel like as players, this is our defense as much as it is the coaches, and we want to, protect our image. We want to make people fear us, and we do that by going out every day, knowing that what we're playing is just as much as us as it is as the coaches, and we take pride in that. So it definitely creates a level of ownership for sure.